Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Access Me Salon, where I will be exploring thousands of access consciousness classes recorded over the last 30 years, the first recording from 1986 until 2022. Join me and find out who likes what class best. I will be interviewing guests from all over the world, people who came to Access very early and who recently joined. So come and explore the world of Access Me. I like it too, it's fun. So Ryan, the Access Me app, a database, a resource of 30 years of classes. Um, I know you for a long time. People out there probably know you as the Elugar millionaire, the person who created $1 million investment in Elugar by just facilitating classes. So, of course, my question to you is, how did you actually use class recordings ever to become a better facilitator?
Well, I listen to classes all the time. In the past, I listened to a lot more classes than now, because of all the travels. But I still listen a lot, let's say when I'm flying, so I will listen. But because I'm now busy with my own classes, so I listen lesser than before, not as much as before. Um, yeah,
So
all
how
the
did
time.
you, before the app came up, how did you use class recording? Because the app is pretty new. You are, for how many years are you in Access now? When did you join Access Consciousness?
I found Access back in 2011.
Wow. So long, long before Access Me was launched. So how did you choose the classes you listened to? I mean, you probably had your own little Access Me application. As I know you, you're very organized. How did you use class recordings?
So I download all the recordings and then I will upload to a cloud service, like a Google Drive and whatever, box.com, something like that. So I use one called P-Cloud that I like. So I will upload all the classes there and then I sort them by year because I attend so many classes. So this is how I can find them. So I roughly remember, so, oh, this class, I think it's maybe around 2014, and then I will go and try to find it there. If I cannot find it, maybe I try 2013. If I cannot find it, 2015. So that's how I find all my previous recordings.
So how do you listen to them? How do you go? Do you intentionally go? Do you go by topic? Do you go by random? How do you choose the classes you listen to?
Well, when I first started doing Access, at the time, I believe that I was very much fuck up, screw up. So I was listening to classes all day long, and a lot of them about money. So
Okay.
I attended every class that Gary and Dane did that was about money so far. So I listened to them a lot. I not just listen to the classes, I actually look at the PDF and then like study them, read them. So that's how I began. And also, of course, I listened to all other topics. I'm basically interested in everything, almost everything.
But money was the one that was pulling you most.
Yes, because that's the biggest problem that I wanted to solve in the beginning.
Ah, okay. So you actually really created the money that you invested in Elugar. You didn't inherit it.
No, unfortunately.
So there was Ryan since 2011 listening to every money class Guaranteed ever facilitated. And then suddenly I remember the day you found out that you are actually an Elugar millionaire. You were pretty surprised. You didn't even notice how much you created. How did that come along?
Well, for me, it was so you see, you said I found it out, but it's more like you found it out, not me. For me, I didn't really like calculate it. So I was just like keep creating and then investing, and then when I was almost to pay it off, and then I would say, "Hey, David, I think you want to buy another share," and then you said, "Sure, all the time, welcome." And then so that's how I increased my share again and again a few times, and then one day, and then you look at it, you're like, "Oh, you have just like all add together, it's over $1 million." Yeah.
Wow, great. So You having listened to all the money classes Gary and Dan ever did, what is your favorite money class, or what was that one money class that was there a class where you got this, oh my God, that was the click, this is where it clicked, and you could actually shift whatever limited you with money before?
Um, okay, so this is very, so access consciousness is very interesting. Or should I say, our journey to become more conscious is very interesting. Money is never just about money. So I listened to a lot of classes about money, but I remember one class that, well, I cannot really say it's that class that changed me or gave me the changes about money, because I listened to too many things, so they all add together. But based on time, it's after that class, and then I started to create. I started to step up and create. Do you want to know which class that was?
Yeah, of course. That's why I interview you, because I want to listen to it, because I also want more money.
It was- No, David, you are rich enough already, David. It was the 9 trainees class.
Oh,
I
which
think
one?
uh, so speaking of night training, so when I found access, and then Gary and Dan did the night training class, I think 2015. So that was the one. And then after that, they did another one 2018 in Dublin,
Mhm.
Ireland, and then another time a few years later. Um, so after I attended the one in 2015, I started to create more.
Do
So
you know why? What did you hear, or what did you choose, or what was the message that you could finally receive that allowed you to choose to create more? Because it's a choice, it's not a coincidence. I mean, you should know this if you have listened into Access Consciousness a little bit, you know that everything in life is a choice. So, what choice did you make after that class, or what inspired you to choose?
my favorite clearing from that class, it was something like what ESC, so energy, space, consciousness, can you and your body be to be the way too fucking much you to truly be. So that was my favorite clearing from that class. Even until today, sometimes I still run that clearing with myself. I guess that's one thing, one main clearing that changed my entire reality. And then money become easier and easier for me. Yeah.
And then you just started creating. Well, let's go back to your beginner time in Access Consciousness. Do you remember the very first class that you attended where you met Gary Douglas or Dane here live? What was that?
The first class live, so in the first few years of me attending classes, it was all online classes, because my justification was I didn't have money to travel. I rather just use the money to attend my next class, right? And then
Oh, very linear point of view, but okay. There is hope for all of you out there. Look at Ryan now.
when I listen to those old recordings, when I hear the question that I asked in the past, sometimes I was like, oh my God, I asked that question. So the first time I met Gary and Dane, it was in 2014 in Mumbai, India. The reason why I went to that class, it was because Gary was doing the abuse hold class at that
Mhm.
time, and I really wanted to attend the abuse hold class. So I'm like, all right, so I will find a way to go to India to attend the. So it was a level 2 and 3 at the time, plus the abuse hold. I think maybe Gary also did. So Gary also did the book launch for the Utopian Ideal. So it was
Ooh.
all there. And I also met Dane there, because Dane was doing, so long, long time ago, then Dane was still doing session at the back of the room. So I met there. 2014, Mumbai.
2014, India level
Mumbai.
2 3. Do you remember? Did you ask a question in that class?
I don't remember. I might. I don't remember.
So
Oh yes, I do. I remember. I
what
remember.
was that?
Oh, so I don't remember exactly. Maybe I asked a few questions, not one. And I asked Gary a question, something like I was trying to save people, trying to help people, and Gary, like he was teasing me like, "Are you Buddha?" So then there were a few friends from Malaysia attending that class as well, and then they just kept teasing me, "Oh, Buddha, hi."
Great.
Yeah.
And since then, I know you. You are. We also started co-facilitating together recently, and I'm really surprised how you are. For me, you are like an access consciousness encyclopedia. Whenever a question come up, you refer to, oh, one time Dane mentioned this in this class. Gary said this in this class. So you use it. You reference what Gary says in classes a lot during your facilitation. Um, do you prepare for classes by listening to recordings? How do you choose the class you listen to? Especially now as we have the app, which is obviously a little easier than your own little cloud recording. How do you choose the classes?
Well, okay, so you also asked me about when I facilitate, and then I would mention that, oh, it was like 2014, this class, Gary talked about this. How I remember all these things, I have no idea. My mind worked this way. It's like it's sort all the information, like Gary talked about this in this class, this body process came out in this time. Oh yeah, in 2014, that's they talk about the um pattern of this harmony. That's when the body process came out in that class. See, I remember everything like this. I have no idea how or why.
Well, maybe because you listen so many times to all the recordings that your brain just saved it all.
And when I facilitated, those memories just like it will just like automatically come out, and then like, oh, this thing suddenly come to my mind. So and then talk about it, and that's exactly what people need to hear.
Mhm, mhm,
So
mhm.
now with the Access Me app, I can listen to a lot more classes. So for me right now, how I choose classes is I choose those classes that I haven't listened or I didn't have a chance to listen in the past.
Mhm.
When I first found Access in 2011, I was so much interested in learning everything. I even bought many tele classes before 2011. I
Mhm.
even wrote to the customer service like, can I buy this class? Because I was Googling and then reading some articles that talk about, oh, Gary and then did this in 2010. I'm like, I missed that, but I wanted to buy it. So I bought many classes. One class that I couldn't buy, I didn't see it in the Access shop. It was the very first time Gary and then I think both of them did the 920s class. That was, I think, 2010. So that's
Ah,
the one class that I really wanted to buy, but I couldn't. And when the Access Me ad came out, I'm like, I need to find this class. And when I listened to that one, even though after that Gary and then have done like 4 times more or 3 times more the 920s classes, the first one when I listened to it, I was like, wow, the content from that class, what Gary talked about, it was so potent. So
so
yeah,
my
so
question would be, what is your favorite class on the Access Me app? Is it that 920s class from 2010, or is there something like your favorite, most mind-blowing class that you listen to?
I don't think I have a favorite class now because I was just I'm mostly just trying to find those classes that I didn't have a chance to listen in the past, like those conversation with Rasputin. Yeah, so that's what I'm interested in. Um, and some other things that I've never heard about, like recently they uploaded a few the bullet class. I was like, oh, there are so many of them. Yeah.
So when we see we know you all, you travel a lot, you even open up new countries. You go to countries where access is not known yet. You do all this. When do you find time to listen to all these classes?
If I really want to listen to them, I will download. So in the past, I would download them and save it to my phone, and then I can listen in the 10 hours flight, right? So now I'm hoping that with the Access Me app, I can do that in the future. Yeah, so that's how I listen to them.
So you just download what you want to listen, and whenever you find it a time, you listen it. And do you listen to the full class, or you just listen to snippets? How do you choose what class, what part, how long? How do you do that?
I'm very OCD, so I want to listen to the full class, like from the beginning to the very end. Even they said thank you, there's the end. I want to listen to until the entire recording stop.
You're so funny. And I think this is the secret, ladies and gentlemen. If you really want to make $1 million with facilitating classes, listen until they stop the recordings. So you literally have the patience to start and finish all the way through.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's
And if I check out during part of the class, let's say I fell asleep or something, and then I would like, okay, I need to re-listen to that. So I would like go back maybe 20 minutes to catch up with those part that I miss.
Oh, that's funny. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing this, Ryan. If there was one thing you would like to share with the world about Access Me, um, what would that be?
Choose it. I mean, like this is a great deal.
Like, why would I? You always had your own Access Me before the app, and now it's just
Yeah.
easy for you. So you're probably the one who goes, "Why are you not having it? What's wrong?"
Well, I have a lot of classes already, but I still want the Access Me. Yeah.
Mhm. So you
So
still do that, and I think you were one of the hedonist choices. You bought it even before it was out. Is that correct?
yes.
Of course, I knew it. So, Ryan T, thank you so much for sharing your fun stories and your way of listening to classes. I will try this out. Maybe there is something that pops up after they say class is over and the recording goes on. Maybe you find one of those hidden gems that should not be in the recording and still is. And let's see what that creates. Thank you so much, Ryan, for being my guest, and happy listening on your next long haul ride. Thank you.
Yeah. Happy listening, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.